Welcome to the debate. Today we're diving deep into a really monumental infrastructure push happening in Mexico. These massive dredging operations currently transforming its Gulf Coast. And look, this isn't just about moving dirt, it's clearly a strategic gambit to establish Mexico as a global trade gateway, potentially fundamentally reshaping how goods move across continents. So the central question we're grappling with is, to what extent will Mexico's massive dredging and, well, all the associated infrastructure projects truly succeed in establishing it as a transformative global trade gateway? One capable of fundamentally reshaping regional and international logistics and fully realizing all those projected economic and geopolitical benefits. Now, I believe these projects represent a strategic, necessary, and potentially revolutionary shift, poised to deliver really profound economic and geopolitical advantages for Mexico and, frankly, beyond.
And I come at it from a slightly different angle. While the ambition behind these projects is undeniable, it's truly grand in scope, I'm just not convinced that the successful realization of such a profound transformation and, importantly, the full extent of its economic and geopolitical benefits is a foregone conclusion. There are substantial uncertainties and complexities that, I would argue, temper what might otherwise be an overly optimistic outlook.
Well, this endeavor is, in my view, a strategic and clearly transformative project that will fundamentally enhance Mexico's role in global trade. The sheer scale of the dredging in the Gulf of Mexico, we're literally talking about moving hundreds of millions of cubic feet of sand and soil, is anything but routine. It's precisely engineered to deepen channels to accommodate megaships, specifically those post-Panamax vessels.
Right, the big ones.
Exactly, the titans of the sea. Those colossal container ships capable of carrying, over 14,000 TEUs. Enabling them unlocks these unprecedented economies of scale that are just absolutely critical for modern global supply chains. So this isn't just some technical upgrade. It's a direct, almost urgent response to the critical situation down at the Panama Canal. We all know it's been struggling with persistent droughts and increasing bottlenecks, forcing global shipping to really scramble for viable, reliable alternatives. Mexico's ports, particularly Coatzacoalcos on the Gulf and Salina Cruz on the Pacific, are now strategically positioned for this trans-isthmus corridor. And this isn't just a simple bypass. It's designed as an integrated logistics chain where containers can be seamlessly transferred from Pacific-bound vessels to high-speed rail, cleared through hopefully streamlined customs, and loaded onto Gulf-bound ships, potentially within, say, 24 to 48 hours.
Potentially.
That's a potential game changer, significantly cutting transport times between Asia and the Atlantic and offering a predictability that, frankly, Panama can no longer guarantee. If successful, and that's the key, the economic potential for Mexico is immense. You're looking at a demand for highly skilled logistics managers, AI-driven port operators, specialized technicians for megaship handling. It fosters an entirely new class of professional expertise. This translates directly into job creation on a massive scale, dramatically increased port capacity, attracting global shipping lines, and ultimately a real transformation of its economy. And geopolitically, it strengthens North America's logistics infrastructure, providing a vital pathway for goods and critically reducing vulnerability to those single-point failures. And look, global precedents like China's Belt and Road maritime routes and Egypt's Suez Canal expansion clearly demonstrate that such large-scale dredging and connectivity projects can indeed rewire global trade, profoundly impacting the social, political, and financial landscapes of entire regions.
That's certainly a compelling vision you paint, but I'm sorry, I just don't buy that the path is quite as clear-cut as you suggest. While the idea of Mexico becoming this new global trade gateway is ambitious, no doubt, the successful realization of that vision, and particularly the full scope of its economic and geopolitical benefits, faces considerable uncertainties. The source material itself, actually, subtly hints at this by highlighting that the economic impact is contingent, if successful.
Well, yes, execution is key.
Implementing other major hubs or fundamentally transforming Mexico's economy is far from a sure thing. This project, while involving extensive dredging, needs to go, as the source says, beyond dredging to genuinely reshape global trade routes and attract that critical mass of shipping lines. And this implies confronting complex socio-political, financial, and competitive factors that simply aren't detailed as having been overcome yet. For example, will these multinational shipping giants truly shift from decades-long relationships with established, highly refined hubs like Houston or the ports of Long Beach? Hubs which boast incredibly sophisticated customs, security, and last-mile logistics systems already in place. And what about potential challenges from internal factors? Things like indigenous land rights disputes along the corridor, or even the persistent issue of cartel influence on logistics and security within certain regions. These are very serious, complex issues.
They are challenges, yes.
Furthermore, while the project aims to reduce reliance on the Panama Canal and offers the potential for cutting transport times, the extent to which it can truly supplant or significantly diminish the Panama Canal's deeply entrenched global role, well, that requires far more scrutiny, I think. Mega projects, even those famous global precedents like the Suez Canal expansion, often run into unforeseen challenges, demand substantial and sustained financial investment, and can yield a really wide spectrum of long-term success. And that variability heavily influences the ultimate social and financial returns for the region. The leap from building the infrastructure to guaranteeing its consistent, high-volume utilization in what is, let's face it, a cutthroat global market, that leap is immense.
I see why you think that, and you do raise valid points about the complexities involved. But let me offer a slightly different perspective on that leap you mentioned. This project isn't just some aspiration cooked up in a boardroom. It's a crucial, deliberate, strategic transformation driven by an undeniable and frankly escalating global shipping crisis. The sheer scale of the dredging allowing these post-Panamax megaships, combined with the vision for a fully integrated trans-isthmus corridor, directly addresses the pressing need for a resilient, predictable, and efficient alternative to an increasingly unreliable Panama Canal. That desperation from shippers, which you correctly identify as a powerful market force, is precisely what Mexico is leveraging here. This positions Mexico not merely as an alternative, but potentially as a legitimate challenger, poised to, yes, rival or complement other major global shipping hubs. By offering a geographically advantageous route, now becoming infrastructure ready, Mexico is creating a new potential focal point for international commerce. This isn't just about moving boxes, it's about deeply embedding Mexico within the global supply chain, with profound social implications in terms of stable, high-value employment and significant economic ripple effects for its population and the entire North American continent.
Okay, that's an interesting point about leveraging shipper desperation, but I might frame it a bit differently. While the ambition for strategic transformation is clear, the leap from a physical infrastructure upgrade, no matter how massive, to genuinely reshaping trade routes and truly rivaling or complementing established global hubs involves far more than just offering an alternative route. It hinges on immense, deeply ingrained market forces, complex international trade policies, and proven consistent operational efficiencies. Efficiencies that are, let's be honest, yet to be definitively proven in this context. The phrase potentially rivaling or complementing itself highlights that the transformation's ultimate success in reshaping the global trade map is far from guaranteed. Are we really confident that shipping lines, which are known for their rather conservative routing decisions, will divert massive investments and established networks without a long, proven track record of reliability, competitive pricing, and, crucially, impeccable security? These are significant financial and political hurdles, not just for Mexico itself, but also for the international partners involved who will need some kind of guarantee of long-term stability and efficiency for the entire region.
I'm not entirely convinced by that line of reasoning, especially when you consider the direct and substantial economic benefits we're talking about. This project promises new jobs on a massive scale, and not just, basic manual labor. We're seeing demand for skilled technicians, custom specialists, advanced logistics coordinators, even innovative IT professionals to manage the digital backbone of a modern port system. This translates directly into increased port capacity, leading to greater trade volume, which in turn attracts global shipping lines, bringing foreign direct investment and strengthens economic ties with major global partners, the US, Europe, Asia. This isn't theoretical, it's a direct, tangible potential outcome of increased efficiency and capacity, creating wealth and stability for a developing nation. And geopolitically, this project solidifies North America's logistics infrastructure. It provides a vital pathway for goods and critically reduces vulnerability to single-point failures like the current Panama Canal crisis. This significantly enhances regional security and economic stability, benefiting not just Mexico, but its trading partners across the continent and beyond, allowing for potentially greater control over strategic supply lines.
I'm sorry, but I just don't see the economic and geopolitical impacts as a certainty or that they'll necessarily reach the magnitude you're projecting without a lot more effort. While I acknowledge the potential for economic benefits, I seriously question the certainty and the scale of attracting that critical mass of global shipping lines needed for widespread economic transformation, especially within the kind of timeline often projected for these things. And the geopolitical claim of truly reducing reliance on the Panama Canal, well, that's also a very high bar to clear. The source material itself mentions rail and highway upgrades as part of the broader picture. Relies on a much larger, coordinated investment across various sectors: rail, highway, port security, customs efficiency, labor training, land acquisition, even securing the routes from external threats like organized crime.
Which is part of the plan?
It might be part of the plan, but it adds multiple layers of complexity and potential execution challenges. For instance, obtaining rights of way for rail expansion across diverse, sometimes contested land ownership, or ensuring consistent security for intermodal cargo transfers. These could easily dilute the projected financial returns and the hope for widespread societal benefits. These are not minor technicalities. They are deeply entwined with the social fabric and the political will of the entire region, making the full realization of the vision far less certain than it might appear on paper. It's a truly massive undertaking that stretches far, far beyond just dredging a channel.
While you rightly highlight the inherent complexities of such large-scale coordination, dissenter, I'd argue that the very existence of projects like China's Belt and Road maritime routes and Egypt's Suez Canal expansion serve as pretty clear evidence that such grand-scale infrastructure initiatives are not merely aspirational fantasies. They are entirely achievable, with the inherent power to actually rewire global trade. These precedents offer a clear blueprint, or at least a proof of concept, for Mexico, demonstrating the viability of investing in deep water channels and robust intermodal connectivity to achieve significant global trade influence. They show how nations can leverage geography and strategic investment to fundamentally alter global logistics, generating profound social and economic uplift within their regions and beyond. The challenges you mention are certainly real, no doubt, but the potential rewards, as shown by these powerful historical examples, are truly transformational, creating new economic poles and shifting geopolitical influence.
That's a compelling point, referencing those significant global precedents. But have you considered that while these projects absolutely illustrate the possibility of such transformations, they also profoundly underscore the immense scale of financial investment, the sustained political will, and the sheer long-term commitment required? I mean, they didn't happen overnight, nor were they achieved without immense struggle and cost, and each came with its own unique set of challenges, complexities, and sometimes quite unforeseen social, environmental, and financial consequences. China's Belt and Road, for instance, has faced significant criticism regarding debt traps and its environmental impact in various places, while the Suez Canal expansion required enormous state resources and a very specific long-term geopolitical stability to ensure its success. Mexico's project, while ambitious, must navigate its own specific national, regional, and international hurdles. These include securing consistent, transparent financing, a huge question mark, managing complex regulatory environments, ensuring long-term operational stability, and addressing domestic environmental concerns that could easily spark significant public opposition. Simply pointing to other successful or partially successful projects doesn't automatically guarantee similar levels of success or the full realization of the envisioned economic and geopolitical returns here.
Each megaproject exists within its own unique social, political, and financial ecosystem, and Mexico's particular set of circumstances, I believe, warrants a more cautious assessment of guaranteed success.
I maintain that Mexico's ongoing dredging and broader infrastructure initiatives represent a highly strategic and extremely timely response to urgent global trade demands. This positions the nation as a formidable new gateway for commerce, a potentially critical pathway for global supply chains, and a key player in strengthening regional logistics. There's a clear and compelling path, I think, toward significant economic growth and enhanced geopolitical standing, particularly for North America as a whole.
And I'm sorry, but I just have to reiterate that I don't see that path as clear or certain at all. While the ambition is profound, I must underscore that the journey to fully realizing this truly transformative vision and securing all of its projected economic and geopolitical benefits remains subject to significant operational, financial, and competitive challenges that have yet to be fully addressed, let alone overcome. These complexities temper the certainty of its proclaimed success, leaving us with, yes, a powerful vision, but frankly, a rather uncertain future regarding its ultimate impact on the social, political, and financial landscapes of the region.
Well, we hope this discussion has at least illuminated some of the multifaceted implications of this major development for the social, political, and financial landscapes both in the region and for the global industry.
Yes, there is certainly much more to explore within this fascinating material. A lot to watch unfold.